Hello, I'm Rick Andrews. Welcome to my YouTube channel. You know, when I saw my first moose many years ago, I remember thinking at the time that it was probably one of the strangest looking animals that I'd ever seen. But as we're about to learn in this short video, those strange looks can be attributed directly to how well moose have adapted to their habitat. Standing up to 2 meters tall at the shoulder, moose are the largest member of the deer family and the tallest mammal in North America. It gets its name from the Algonquin First Nation, who called it Mooswa, twig eater. Moose can be found across northern Europe, Asia, and North America, and tend to prefer woodland habitat like that of the boreal forest, located close to rivers, lakes, and muskeg. The bulls grow antlers that are unique to this family of ungulates. Unlike the antlers of deer or elk, which often have several tines branching from a single beam, moose antlers are relatively flat and only have tines on the outer edge, making them instantly recognizable. With a gestation period of 8 months, most calves are born in May or early June. The timing of their birth is very important. It must come at a time when vegetation is readily abundant, as lactating cows need this vegetation to produce their rich milk. Containing 11% fat and 15% protein, it helps their calves develop rapidly. This little one needs to gain between 1 and 2 kilos every day. So to help with that, this cow will suckle her up to 10 times daily. Staying close to her mother is the only protection this calf has. And even then, her survival rate will only be about 30%. If she survives the winter, she will stay with her mother until the cow becomes pregnant again, at which time she will run her off. To survive on her own, she'll now have to put into practice everything her mother has taught her. But finding food now is no problem. There are fresh spring buds everywhere. And she has now reached sufficient size where most predators are no longer a threat. Moose are highly specialized feeders. They don't graze, but browse leaves from shoots and bushes. They are ruminants, and with 4 stomachs, extract everything from the vegetation they eat. In summer, in addition to plants and forbs, moose will also feed on the aquatic plants found in the lakes and ponds. Since they can close their nostrils while their nose is underwater, and with their long, stilt-like legs, they're well adapted to aquatic feeding. Many of the aquatic plants contain up to 500% more sodium than terrestrial plants. And since sodium is needed for every stage of their development, it's a welcome addition to their summer diet. As the unsettled fall weather arrives, young bulls begin sparring. Despite having little chance of mating yet, it's good practice that will come in handy later. The mature bulls, meanwhile, begin marking their territory by rubbing their antlers on trees and bushes. They also scent themselves by urinating on the ground and rolling in it, a scent they hope the cows will find irresistible. In the meantime, they improve their odds of mating by driving off any younger moose in the area. And while the mature bulls will check the cows to see if they're ready to mate, it's ultimately the cow who will decide which bull she'll mate with. And since she's in season for only a week and receptive for just 24 hours, only the biggest and strongest bull will be allowed to approach her. By nature, moose are said to be diurnal, but I've found they can also be quite active at night. They're also said to be solitary animals, but again, there are exceptions. Like during the rut, when it's not unusual to find several moose together. I've also seen several bulls hanging out together in late winter as they begin to shed their antlers. But this was in Yellowstone, and there are wolves here. So now, without antlers for protection, perhaps they feel there's safety in numbers. When compared to skin surface area, a large body mass better insulates them against the cold. And while their coats are relatively short, they're also well designed for cold weather. Comprised of 2 layers, longer, hollow guard hairs filled with air for insulation, together with a short woolly undercoat, combine to keep them warm on the coldest days, when the rest of us would perhaps prefer to be somewhere else. As winter snows deepen, food now becomes scarce. But one food still relatively easy to find is willow, which often grows along the riverbanks. Watching them eat, they're a model of energy conservation. Each movement is carefully calculated as they eat every twig within reach, before moving to access a different part of the plant. In winter, adult moose still need to consume between 8 and 12 kilos of food every single day. Yet despite eating all day every day, they will continue to lose up to 20% of their body weight. While some moose populations are thriving, sadly here in Alberta they have been declining since the 1970s. And in places where I've seen them before, in recent years I'm having trouble finding them. It could be just coincidence, then again it could be something more. Habitat loss, predation, and climate change are all thought to be contributing factors to their population decline here. One of their most serious threats is the winter tick. In past winters, temperatures were colder, killing off many of these tiny pests. But today, these ticks are now surviving the winter months, and in some cases, tens of thousands of them have been found on a single moose, weakening and literally sucking the life out of it. An infected moose will sometimes display abnormal behavior, as it tries to rid itself of these tiny pests. Unfortunately, this takes time away from feeding. which then leads to additional weight loss. The end of winter is a critical time of year, especially for calves, as they've now used up all of their fat reserves. But for calves that successfully survive their first winter, they now have a good chance of making it to adulthood, where they perhaps will get their chance to mate and contribute to healthy moose populations in the years ahead.